Nigeria would be far worse without prayer. Pastor Adeboye speaks. Good day to you, my dear listeners. Here is another news coming to your listening ears this morning. As the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Adeboye said, Nigeria would be far worse without prayer. Moving on to the full details, kindly please ensure you like, subscribe to this channel and share. The General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, said the power of prayer over the nation has kept the nation sane. Some say, you've been praying and fasting? Where is the result? I laugh. If we had not prayed, Nigeria would be in a far worse state. Let's not stop. He also declared that RCCG operates under a divine shield, a supernatural covering that has preserved the church from calamity since its inception. Speaking on Sunday during the monthly Thanksgiving service and special prayer for security and paramilitary personnel at the RCCG National Headquarters in Ebute Metta, Lagos, Adeboye added, "There is a God who rules in the affairs of men. If those praying would pause for just 1 week, the difference would be terrifying. Keep praying. God controls the hearts of kings." Adeboye preaching on the topic of the shadow of the Almighty talked about a miraculous account that could point to what he described as the peculiarity of RCCG under God's shadow. He said, "I have never preached church or denomination, but there is something peculiar about the Redeemed Christian Church of God. There is a shield over the RCCG, unseen but undeniably present." Adeboye recalled how a building in the United States, which hosts an RCCG house fellowship, was the only one spared in a row of 15 houses during a devastating flood. After the house was flooded, but house number 8, the only one with a sign that read, "House Fellowship of RCCG Otier," remained untouched, he said. He also cited a fire incident in March at Otedola Bridge, Lagos, where a blaze razed multiple buildings but mysteriously spared an RCCG structure. The buildings before and after were consumed, yet the RCCG building was left standing. That is not a coincidence. That is divine covering. Adeboye said as the church media team projected the image during his sermon. He emphasized that although God's protective presence may not always be visible, it is powerful and ever-present for those who abide in Him. Your security is only assured in Him, whether in peace or war, young or old. The Almighty cast a shadow of protection over His own, he declared. Earlier in the service, his wife, Pastor Folu Adeboye, led a passionate session of prayer for the peace and progress of Nigeria and those in leadership. Let's ask God to show our president mercy and give him peace, so that he may enjoy his time in office, she prayed. The Thanksgiving service, which also honored security and paramilitary forces, highlighted RCCG's ongoing commitment to spiritual intercession for Nigerians' peace and divine protection for its people. My dear listeners, moving on to the comment section. The first comment I have here says, "Sir, but at the time you left prayer for protest now, I beg to disagree with you, sir. With all the prayers being prayed in this country, yet we're far worse than China and Korea, who doesn't pray at all. God has given us wisdom. It's time we use our sense and leave prayers." Another commenter says, "How do you pray and expect God to answer while you are part of the clique behind Nigerians' destruction?" A comment to says, if to say na Jonathan, if I don't talk wetin dey your mind since, but because say this one came from Chicago and they not send anybody, you're just declaring prayer here and there instead of leading us like you do during Jonathan time. We want to go Jota. My dear listeners, another commenter says that come out and lead the protest as you did here during Good Luck Jonathan. My dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by the comment section and let us know what your view is all about. Thank you for listening.